see you as you really are.
Welcome to Recap King. In this video, we will explain Afterlife. This movie tells the story of Anna, a young woman caught between life and death. She meets a funeral director who claims to have the gift of transitioning the dead into the afterlife. But is she really dead? Let's find out the hidden mystery in Afterlife. Afterlife begins by showing a man named Eliot, who is taking care of a corpse. He is an officer at the funeral home who prepares and dresses the corpse before burial. From his smile, it can be seen that he really enjoys his work. The scene then changes to a young couple, Anna and Paul, who's going through a difficult phase in their love relationship. Paul is a lawyer, while Anna is a teacher. The lack of communication between them causes their relationship to be strained. In reality, Anna was hiding something. She is actually suffering from a severe illness that causes her nose to bleed frequently. One day, Anna caught some students bullying Jack, one of her students. She then helps Jack from his bullies. When school was over, Anna experienced a mysterious incident. All the lights in the school hallway suddenly went out. She then ran to the end of the door, and suddenly Jack appeared and turned on the light switch. Anna thought the incident was just a hallucination because of the illness she was suffering from. However, Anna's strange experiences continue as she attends her piano teacher's funeral. When she looked into the teacher's coffin, she saw the teacher's mouth suddenly open. She thought that it was just a hallucination because it was impossible that a dead person could move his body. That evening, Anna and Paul have dinner together. On that occasion, Paul was about to propose to Anna, but because of the miscommunication, they then had a fight. Anna thought that Paul wanted to break off their engagement. She then left Paul in a furious state. Anna, who was driving her car at high speed, ended up having an accident because she tried to reach her cell phone. Moments later, she wakes up in a room lying limp and meets Eliot, who introduces himself as the funeral homeowner. Anna asks what happened to her, and Eliot says that she has been declared dead in a traffic accident, and he is preparing for her funeral. Eliot then shows Anna a doctor's certificate to prove his words. Anna did not immediately believe in Eliot and rebelled. But Eliot injected something into her neck that he claimed could relax the dead muscle, and she fell unconscious again. Paul, who just knew Anna's death from her mother, rushes to the funeral home. But Eliot didn't allow him because he wasn't Anna's family. Anna regained consciousness and was now able to move. She tried to call, but the phone in the room didn't work. She hears her fiancé's voice outside and screams for Paul, but her efforts are in vain. Paul then left, and Eliot went back into the room where Anna was. Frustrated, Anna questions why she can still move and talk when she's already dead. Eliot explained that Anna could do all this not because she was still alive but because Eliot had supernatural powers, so he could communicate with the dead. Eliot also said that he actually helped people who had died to accept the fact that they had died, and helped them cross into the spirit world. On the other hand, Paul often saw the figure of Anna near him, because deep in his heart, Paul felt guilty because Anna had a tragic accident right after their fight. Anna still couldn't accept the fact that she was dead and tried to stab Eliot with scissors. But he calmed her down and challenged her to stab him, which of course, she couldn't do. Eliot warns Anna to accept the big changes that are happening to her, from the living to the dead, because the time for the funeral drew near and so that Anna could cross in peace to the afterlife. The next day, Jack, who thought that today was Anna's funeral, came to the funeral home and met Eliot. The boy seemed enthusiastic about Eliot's work, and then they started talking. Towards evening, Eliot returned to Anna's room carrying her dress for her funeral day. He briefly said goodbye to Anna before delivering another body to the cemetery, and without Eliot's knowledge, Anna managed to steal his keys. Anna then tried to open the rooms in the funeral home. Eliot, who stopped briefly at the gas station to refuel, finally realized that the key was missing. He rushed back home. Anna managed to open the house's front door, but she couldn't run away after seeing Eliot's car enter the yard. She went upstairs, found a telephone and called Paul. However, Paul, who at that time was drunk due to severe depression, could not hear Anna's voice clearly. He then turned off the phone and thought it was a prank call. Eliot, who caught Anna, told her that his efforts were in vain because only he could hear the dead. Eliot then led her to a large mirror and directed the woman to stand facing the mirror. Eliot assured Anna that she was really dead by showing her appearance as pale as a corpse. Anna looked down sadly, and she finally accepted the fact that she was dead. Behind Anna, Eliot smiled cunningly at trapping her. He wiped the dew from Anna's breath on the mirror before she realized that she was actually still alive. Eliot is a crazy psychopath who often kills his victims by implanting suggestions that they were already dead. Jack, who happened to pass in front of the funeral home, accidentally saw Anna standing by the window alive. The next day, he tries to tell Paul that he saw Anna still alive when he passed the funeral home last night. But a frustrated Paul couldn't believe it and instead he slapped the boy. That day, Jack returns to the funeral home and meets Eliot. The two of them chatted, and Eliot seemed interested in Jack, who had empathy for the dead. Eliot also said he was the same as Jack and offered to teach the boy all about his work. Jack immediately agreed, even though in reality, Eliot only wanted to influence Jack with his psychopathic belief. Jack's words about Anna were still in Paul's mind. He then went back to Eliot to confirm his words. He barged in and searched room after room in Eliot's place until he finally arrived in front of the room where Anna was. Paul called out Anna's name, but she was silent because she thought Paul would not hear her voice. Paul finally left, but he didn't just give up. He enlists the help of a friend who is a member of the police. His friend said that he couldn't easily make a search warrant without any accusations and evidence that Eliot had committed a crime. Paul reasoned by expressing his opinion that Anna might be alive, but Eliot gave her something to make her look like a dead person to avoid people's suspicions. In fact, Eliot did inject a liquid called hydronium bromide into Anna's body regularly. The liquid has an effect that can paralyze nerves and relax muscles, so it is very similar to a dead person. The day of Anna's funeral arrived. Eliot had prepared the best dress for her, and she looked beautiful in the black lace dress. Anna then shared stories and expressed all the regrets in her life so far. Eliot listened intently. Having finished preparing Anna, Eliot invited her out of his room one last time before being put into the coffin. However, fear creeps up on Anna, and she refuses. Eliot said that most people are not afraid of death. They are afraid to live and face reality in front of their eyes. Jack visits Eliot's place while he is digging the grave. Eliot invited the boy to help him. Eliot reveals that he is attracted to Jack and begins to teach the boy about his ideology, which is more or less a solid foundation for what he has been doing and the reason why he became a cold-blooded psychopath. Anna, who was already lying in the coffin, had one last request to Eliot. She wanted to see her appearance one last time before being buried. Eliot granted her request and brought her a small mirror. Unintentionally, Anna exhaled and left a trace of dew on the mirror's surface. She immediately realized that she was still alive, and Eliot had been lying to her all this time. Anna struggled when Eliot tried to inject hydronium bromide into her neck. But her efforts were fruitless. Eliot managed to sedate her, then took a picture of Anna, who was unconscious. Everyone attends Anna's funeral and mourns her departure. Paul came with a sad face because he could finally see Anna for the last time. He also gave a farewell kiss to the woman he loved, then left the funeral in tears. Anna's body seemed to have shown some movement when Paul left, but Eliot quickly closed her coffin before anyone noticed the oddity. After the funeral was over, Eliot returned to his room and grabbed the portrait of Anna closed in the coffin. He looked satisfied when he held Anna's photo because he had once again succeeded in carrying out his evil plan. Eliot then put a photo of Anna on the wall, which was filled with photos of his victims who had a fate like Anna. On the other hand, Jack is seen burying a chick alive, which has led to speculation that Jack will likely follow Eliot's behavior and become a psychopath. Paul and Eliot attend a banquet after Anna's funeral. Paul looks a bit drunk and very depressed because Anna died. Eliot approached him, looking sympathetic and raving that Anna might still be alive if he dismantled her grave now. Frustrated, Paul immediately believed Eliot. He ran outside, got into his car, and drove at high speed to the cemetery where Anna was buried. On the other hand, Anna, who had woken up, realized that Eliot had deliberately burying her alive. She banged on the lid of the coffin, screaming for help, hoping someone would hear and save her because her lungs were running out of oxygen. Paul finally arrived at the cemetery. He ran to Anna's grave, dug her grave, and managed to get Anna out of the coffin. He hugged her tightly and gave her artificial respiration. Anna, who fainted from running out of oxygen, finally started to open her eyes and breathe normally. They embraced each other and were reunited after death separated them. However, that's not how it actually happened. These were all hallucinations of Paul hoping that Eliot's words were true and he managed to save Anna. He is now becoming another victim of the psychopath Eliot. The film ends.